Every morning, the world starts quietly. One soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing. A spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy. And this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kindness Rising, Year 2, Day 1. Whether this is your first morning with us or you've been here since the very first day, I'm so glad you're here. A year ago, I pressed go live thinking I was starting a live stream, but looking back, I realized what I was starting was an experiment in showing up every weekday before I felt completely ready. But today begins season 2. And this season, we're going to be built around a simple question. How do we build lives, relationships, teams, and organizations where people feel safe enough to show up without a net? If you've ever felt like you've had to wear a mask at work, hold back your ideas, or pretend to have all the answers, this is the season for you. Let's rise together. Good morning. How's it going out there in the world? Welcome to the Mornings in the Lab Network. Yet again, here on a Monday morning, getting up and getting after it, just like we do every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. And in the lab. And good morning. Howdy. It says Mornings in the Lab. Keith Phyllis, hey buddy, and mother, of course. What a wonderful weekend we had together as a family, celebrating the 250th anniversary in our way together as a family. Hosted it at the lake. Beautiful out there, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of my lake experience this summer with you as we continue our mission on Kindness Rising to get up, get after it, have a great day together, building our authority, showing who we truly are. SA 283 and Kathy, welcome in. Yes, SA 283. My name is Matt. This is Kindness Rising. We come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. each day, to get you up with a little bit more high fives for humanity and less rage bait. We've got quite the kindness crew here, getting going this morning. And today, just like every other day, we're going to start with a little bit of a message. Hello from South Korea, SA283. Glad you are here. Subscribe to the channel and join us every day at this time, weekdays, Monday through Friday. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Somewhere along the way, most of us stopped raising our hands. Not all at once. And it happened slowly. One wrong answer, one awkward silence, one laugh from the back of the room. One meeting where we had something to say but decided it was safer to stay quiet. Little by little we learned. We learned how to smile and nod and sound confident even when we were confused. How to say, that makes sense, even when it didn't. And how to look professional when what we really wanted to say was, dude, this is not working. And the tricky part is most of that hiding gets rewarded. We call it maturity, professionalism. We call it reading the room. And sometimes, yes, there is wisdom in knowing the room. But there's also a cost. Because if we spend enough time showing people only the version of us we think they can handle, we start to lose sight of the version of us that existed before performance began. The kid who sang out loud before knowing all the words. The kid who drew before wondering if it was even good. The kid who asked why 17 times because the world was still interesting. The version of us that didn't disappear. It got covered up. I think it got covered up. Covered by expectation. Covered by disappointment. And covered by success, too. Because success can become an armor if we use it to prove we're okay instead of letting it help us become more fully alive. So, we've had this morning, as we begin season 2 of Kindness Rising, this new journey we're calling Without a Net, I want to start with this simple invitation. Notice where you perform. Notice where you shrink. Notice where you edit yourself before anyone else even gets a chance. And then today, let one true thing be seen. And I don't know, I need help. I made a mistake. These are the things that will make us be authentic and just show up. What would change if we stopped performing and started showing up? I have a feeling the most authentic version of myself and you is still in there, and maybe this is the week we keep finding our way back. Absolutely. Are you a rapper? Yeah, I'm a rapper. I wrap gifts, I wrap up leftovers, I wrap all kinds of things. Where is that? I'm in New York, not New York City, New York, upstate New York, not the city. Absolutely. And we continue. Kindness rising. And we're carrying over. We're keeping some of our favorite things from season 1 and moving forward in season 2. But of course, season 1's new discovery is our Who in the World contest. Who in the world? The problem is my clues aren't here. Shiver me timbers. Okay, well, we continue anyway. I will say my clues, and then you will hear them and guess. Today's mystery person. We always pick a person who's aligned with our theme, somebody interesting. We give 3 clues throughout the show. See if you know who we're talking about and what their inspiration is related to this theme. Here it is. Today's mystery person. This is a quote. Short but sweet. I paint my own reality. Mystery person once said, I paint my own reality. That's our first clue in our Who in the World game today. Thank you. All right, we're here on Kindness Rising, and every single day we're keeping this part rolling into season 2 too, because I hear from you that this is inspirational, that this is what you like to hear about and think about, all the good work that is happening out there in the world by good organizations. I gotta turn my volume. Good organizations doing good work for good people, and today is absolutely no different, even though we are starting season 2. All right, we missed the drop, but we will get going here. All right. All right, today's kindness spotlight is no different than any other day. Good people doing good work, and today's spotlight is on an organization called Narrative 4. Narrative 4 uses something they call their story exchange, and here's how it works. Simple. 2 people sit together. One tells a personal story, the other listens, and then they switch. Each person retells the other person's story to the first person. She went through this, not he felt that, but I remember, I felt, I learned. Think about how much trust that requires. To tell your story honestly, to listen carefully enough to carry someone else's, and then to speak it back with respect. That is an example of psychological safety, something we're going to be talking about a lot right now. Yes, psychological safety in motion, because showing up real is not only about having the courage to tell the truth about yourself, it's also about creating enough space for someone else to tell the truth about themselves. That's how kindness rises. One story, one listener, and one brave exchange at a time. Absolutely. Narrative 4. Check them out. That's our kindness spotlight for today. All right. How's it going out there in the chest? Bob Ross. No, white or brown? White or brown what? Oh, Lord. I like all, white and brown. Bob Ross. No, not Bob Ross. No. Okay. All right, let's do our Wait That Happened Today. a little bit of history, again, that leans into our subject. And we're just going to keep some of these things going. I know people have liked them, and I am here to deliver for you, for you, Jess, for you, Mike, for you, Kathy, for you, Roseanne, for you, Daryang, Nang, B5B, all of you out there. All right, here we are. We're taking it back, July 6th. Just a couple of years ago, some of you might remember it, 1785. Hey, from Nigeria, good to see you. It's not Andy Warhol. Welcome in, Tim Fred from Nigeria. Glad to see you. Come join us every day at this time. We're getting after it. But July 6th, a couple years ago, 1785. What? 1785? Yes, the Continental Congress adopted the dollar as the official money unit of the United States on this date, 1785. What? We're talking about currency? How is that? It isn't just a money story. It's a trust story. Think about what money actually is. A dollar bill is just paper. It's a number in your bank account. It's on the screen, right? It's metal. But none of it works unless people agree that it means something. The power of money is not really in the capital, it's in the object itself, right? That piece of paper. It's the shared belief that this has value and can be exchanged. And we agree that this system works well enough, most times, for us to build our lives, and that's trust. And in 1785, this young country was trying to create more than a financial system. It was trying to create a common language and a shared standard. And culture works the same way. A team has a handbook. An organization has policy, family has tradition, and community has rules. But none of those things matter if people don't trust the system underneath it. That's psychological safety. Psychological safety, that's a kind of a currency. It's the invisible currency of trust. When a team has it, people are willing to spend honestly. They spend their ideas, they spend their questions, they spend creativity, and they spend the courage to say, I think we're missing something. But when that trust is low, people will hold back. They save their real thoughts for the parking lot or the lunchroom. They save their hard questions for the group chat after the meeting, and they save their creativity for somewhere safer. That's what low trust costs us. It freezes the economy of the team. Every strong system depends on shared trust. Money, government, teams, relationships, communities. And if we want people to show up real, then we have to build places where trust has value, because people invest in themselves where they don't feel safe. But they don't invest in other things where they believe something real can grow. And that is today's wait. That happened today. Sully, I appreciate you. In and out, trying to get my summer on. I know, you said you were getting out there, putting yourself out there. I appreciate that. Yes. Rumblefish, nice, good reference. Oh, we're still guessing artists. Pablo Picasso, nope. Jess is doing her chores. Jerry Ginger's out there with the dogs. Just keep your life going. Just listen in, clue in, jump in once in a while. It's not a big deal. I just appreciate that you're sticking around long enough to maybe get one little message for the day. And one more clue. We've had lots of guesses for our person of the day. Maybe this second guess will help us narrow down. I have sense. Oh, geez, wrong thing. We asked 100 men. Wrong. Stupid. I'm trying to get the clues up here. They're in my computer and trying to pull them into the system. Not working. So I'm just going to speak them. The first one, we remember the first clue, right? I don't. I wrote them and I don't remember them. Mystery person who said, I paint my own reality. My own reality. Second clue, this is probably the one that will clinch it, because I know we have a lot of art lovers in our audience today. Personal pain, surreal imagery, and radical honesty define this person's art. Personal pain, surreal imagery, radical honesty, and they paint What was God, good Lord. Oh, they paint. Yes, they're a painter. They paint their own reality with radical honesty, surreal imagery, and personal pain. All right. Keep guessing out there. All right. We're going to do something a little bit different today. This is where we get a little new. I've been talking about this for a while now without a net. I'm building a program. I'm going to do 25 lessons. 25 lessons of Without a Net. 5 weeks, 5 days, 5 themes. Each day a little bit deeper into that theme. This week's theme, we talked about it, showing up real. Authenticity is the theme of the day. And I've been doing research on these ideas, and I want to share that with you because research tells us what is true. And Harvard professor Amy Edmondson, you'll be hearing a lot about her, studied high-performing teams and discovered something surprising. The best teams aren't the ones making the fewest mistakes. They're the ones that were simply more willing to admit them, where people felt safe enough to ask questions, admit uncertainty, and learn together. And she coined the term psychological safety. Google, little company, they later confirmed the same finding with their Project Aristotle. After studying hundreds of teams, the single greatest predictor of team success wasn't talent, it wasn't experience, it was psychological safety. The research tells us what's true, and Without a Net helps us to put that research to work. And that's what I'm doing today. All right, our theme this week for Without a Net is Robert Hunter's lyric in Help on the Way. A little more context. Without a Net is a very common term that explains how the Grateful Dead operate. They use the term in a lot of their work, and that is the connection that we're making to the Grateful Dead as always. And I'll just keep going with that. Robert Hunter's lyric, Help on the Way. This is one that I think about all the time. I was blind all the time. I was learning to see. Yep, those words are the heartbeat of the first chapter of the book that I'm writing, Without a Net. When I was a kid, I owned a Sesame Street cassette recorder with a little Ernie microphone. I disappeared down into the basement and spent hours recording fake radio shows, commercials, and silly songs. But I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I was simply creating. And years later, when I found those tapes, what struck me wasn't how funny they were. It was how authentic that little boy sounded. I wasn't performing. I wasn't managing my image. I wasn't trying to become someone. I already knew who I was. And somewhere between that basement and my adulthood, I learned to wear an armor. Titles, professionalism, perfection, the need to always have the answer. Maybe some of you have worn armor too. Maybe you've learned to stay quiet in meetings or stopped asking questions or convinced yourself that the safest thing to do is just blend in, just going to blend in. Amy Edmondson's research gave language to what Robert Hunter wrote decades earlier. The greatest barrier to great teams is not a lack of intelligence. It's concealment. When people don't feel safe, they hide. And when they feel safe, they contribute. The Grateful Dead, they built a career around playing Without a Net. They stepped on stage every night without a fixed set list, trusting each other enough to take risks in front of tens of thousands of people. And sometimes the music absolutely soared, and sometimes they stumbled through, but they always stayed together. And that's the kind of culture we're trying to build here. And it's what we're trying to build at work and at home and in our communities. Absolutely. Authenticity isn't becoming something new. It's just remembering who we've been all along. That's today's Without a Net. All right. We got Dolly guesses. We got Andy Warhol guesses. We got howdy, howdy, Ginger. Jerry Ginger says howdy. Always a howdy from Jerry Ginger. All right, buddy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here. Wherever you're listening, whatever you're doing, come back to us here on the Mornings in the Lab Authenticity. Mornings in the Lab Authority Network. We're authentic too, but we also help people to establish their authority on their subject matters, what they're interested in, by developing shows, programs, marketing programs for you. Absolutely. We're doing it every week, every day here on Kindness Rising, every day on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, every week with Cheryl Raphael Whitaker, every week with Sarah Barnes-Humphrey, every week with What the Truck and House of Bricks as we continue to roll with our special guest, Brianna Bass, about sex and relationships, and Dr. John Petrocelli, our bullshit professor, on Fridays. All right. Mornings in the Lab Network. Check us out. We're doing great things. Year 2 of Kindness Rising continues. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the third clue. All right. The first clue, if we remember, I paint my own reality. Second clue was authenticity, pain, surreal imagery, radical honesty. And I think this third clue, I thought someone would get it from the second clue. Now, you guys have all been guessing men. It kind of shows maybe some bias. Her self-portraits, flowers, bold colors, and unforgettable eyebrows made her one of the most remarkable, recognizable artists in the world. Self-portraits, flowers, bold colors, and unforgettable eyebrows. I have a unibrow too, but I shave it. Kathleen's in. Kathleen's in with the answer. We'll talk about her a little further right after our compass. Every day on Kindness Rising, we're talking about authenticity. We're talking about being real, right? Removing those layers, those masks that we all tend to put up in our lives. That's what we're talking about today. And this is today's practice of how to show up real. Ask a couple of questions. Where can I admit one thing I don't know? Saying I don't know is not a weakness. It's often the first honest step towards trust, learning, and better decisions. Where can I share one imperfect story? People rarely connect with our polish. They connect with the human moments when they recognize themselves in us. And that's what happens when you go live every single day. And lastly, where can I make it safer for someone else to speak? Sometimes the kindest thing we can do is create enough room for another person to bring their real voice into the conversation. And that's how psychological safety begins, one conversation at a time. Kathleen's in. Nice. All right. Let me read. Sully, you got it. Consistency. Absolutely. Iron Horse of the Yankees. Lou Gehrig. Oh, that was 2 days ago, Lou Gehrig Day. Love the Lou Gehrig story. Love the Yankees. Well, they are terrible right now. 1-9 in their last 10. What? They were in first place by like 3 or 4 games. Now they're out of first place by 3 or 4 games in a week, 2 weeks. Craziness. I need to learn more about the enigmatic Frida Kahlo. You do. You do. The movie's out there, right? Selma Hayek. I think she actually won an Academy Award for it. I haven't seen it. I admit. But Mom knows this. In our house, we'd like to talk about. We've got some great books about different artists. Even I still read them. They're the kids' books. They're like 10 great artists kids should know. I love stuff like that. There's also another book that I own. Dog time. See you, Jerry. Go have a good walk. We'll all be kind. Go live with the doggies. Maybe I'll come over and say hi. I would love to. When I see it, I always do. All right. Yeah. Lots to learn about her, Mike. Yep, Roseanne, you're right, Mom. Absolutely. Anyway, we were talking about the 10 artists, and I was telling you about another book that I discovered when I was working in the coffee house in DC. I came across this book. It's got a really complicated name. It's called The Art Book. It's amazing. It's a thick, one of those little short books, but it's about this thick, and each page describes a different artist, shows their most famous works, or discusses something that's some impact. And it's just a great little pick-up book to expand your creativity and think about the impact of art on people's lives, just like Frida Kahlo had. Absolutely. You want to talk about showing up real. Whew. July 6, 1907, Mexico City. Her life was marked by pain, identity, love, contradiction, and extraordinary creative courage. You guys know about her story? If you don't know about her story, she was born with polio, then was in a horrific bus accident where her entire body was busted up. I mean, this is like in the 30s and 40s. Obviously, medicine wasn't great. And that's how she started painting. There's actually photographs out there on the internet of it. I was going to just show her. I'm sure people recognize this face. But that's how she started painting. There's pictures of her lying in her bed with a easel kind of tilted back forward, and she's laying in her bed, and all she can do is move her arm to paint. And that's where she started. Absolutely. Yeah, San Diego, I bet. Absolutely. But yeah, so, and her truth just came out when she painted, right? Her self-portraits certainly are not polished performances. They're honest and bold, sometimes really uncomfortable. If you look at her work, many people know her face, but when she was in the hospital, she painted some pretty grotesque self-images of herself regarding the surgeries and the pain that she was going through. Absolutely. I highly encourage just to Google Frida Kahlo's artwork, whatever, and you'll see it's pretty thought-provoking and incredible, the way she turned her pain into some terrible beauty, I guess you'd call it. Anyway, because showing up real does not mean everyone will understand your reality. That's true too. When you look at her paintings, like wow. It means you stop abandoning yourself. If you show up real, it means that you stop abandoning yourself just to make other people comfortable, right? And Frida Kahlo did that for sure. She turned her pain into truth and her identity into courage, and that's showing up real. A great example of showing up real, Frida Kahlo. Fabulous restaurant, Skinny Atlas, New York, on the lake. What? Okay, yes, there are fabulous restaurants in Skinny Atlas, New York on the lake, but I don't know what that means, Mom. Give us a little more context. There are fabulous restaurants on the lake of Skinny Atlas, New York. If anybody out there cares to come join us here in beautiful upstate New York. Absolutely. Where we'll continue Kindness Rising every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, reaching out. Oh, there's a restaurant that's named for her. Okay, got it. Now I get it. I didn't know that. I don't think I've been there, but we'll have to try it. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was telling you about. It's Kindness Rising. Day 1 of season 2 or year 2. I don't know. We'll call it a season if you want. That's fine. And we are going to be leaning in a lot this year, especially this month, into Without a Net. I teased it a little bit before. I talked about it. I have written a book. I've contacted some publishing opportunities for it, but it's not about the book. It's about the structure. It's about the learning that I've had over 30 plus years in corporate healthcare and 50 plus years of life and research, master's degree, and all those things that are built into it, are built into the program. And I hope people will enjoy it. There'll be more information coming. I'll be taking engagements with organizations, helping them through that, facilitating through some of that psychological safety, because as Amy Edmondson told us, it's the number one predictor of team success. Not the team that makes the fewest mistakes or reports the fewest mistakes. It's the team where people feel psychologically safe to ask questions and to bring their ideas. Oh, geez, just choked on my own saliva. Bring their ideas forward. Okay. We are winding down. We're winding down on day 1 of year 2 here at Kindness Rising. Thank you. That's all it is. It's all gratitude. I hope this subject matter, what we're talking about in the chat, is good for people. I think it is. It's good for me. I know that, getting up every morning. And tomorrow we'll continue. We'll be here 7:30 a.m. and we'll ask this important question. If authenticity is so powerful, why do we spend so much of our lives hiding it? We'll explore why we wear armor and what it takes to finally take it off. Absolutely. Just like we did here on Kindness Rising, just like they do over at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Thank you. Thank you for spending your morning with me. This is season 2. This is Without a Net, and this is Kindness Rising. Until tomorrow, I hope you all have a great day. Stay uncommon and stay kind.